Hi, I have built my own computer from TTL chips. But more than that, this project is about exploring what can be achieved while fighting hard against complexity. My enemy is called feature creep, and any new idea has to pass a firewall question. Does it add simplicity? You can follow this journey here on my channel, from its humble beginnings up to my latest minimal UART CPU design. Today's video will finally push the limits beyond my design finish line. The minimal UART CPU goes flash. But before we dive in, let's get some overview. A CPU and some RAM make for a simple computer that can execute a program. But the interesting part is, how do we get data in and out? Let us give it a simple UART interface. That is just a send and receive register connected to the CPU's bus. With an input instruction, the CPU tells the UART to put received data onto the bus, and an output instruction would tell the UART to transmit the value that is currently on the bus. All well and good, but who puts these instructions in RAM? It seems our CPU has ears and a mouth, but can't listen and talk. That changes when we add a ROM holding a simple program that listens for commands like put this data to that address or go to that address. Let's call this an operating system. Suddenly, we can input new and more complex programs by hand via a terminal. Additionally, we get data upload for free, since we can now write programs comfortably on another system, assemble them as keystrokes and paste them into our terminal. Wow! Our computer already becomes quite usable, but still it relies on a host system. How about a little more independence? Well, every time we turn the power off, we lose our programs, except for the ROM. What if we used flash memory instead? We could use a small fraction for the OS and the rest to store more and longer programs. But still we won't be able to add new stuff easily. Well, imagine that our little CPU would be able to save its data into its own permanent flash memory. With a little native text editor and assembler, we would have freed ourselves completely from the host system. We could develop software just with a dumb terminal. Those of you who have been following my steps in reaching this goal might already be familiar with the CPU's basic design concept. If you are interested in its inner workings on a deeper level, I invite you to dive into my playlist here on YouTube. For today, I am going to focus on the evolution process and highlight the new features. All ideas took shape on this breadboard prototype here. It is still functional and reflects the latest design. I mean, look at this mess. The next step was this first PCB design. This version never made it into the public since it had a couple of issues, and I ended up cutting and changing many connections manually. But it finally worked. Next came the minimal UART design I have published here on YouTube. It works great, but relies on those old school EEPROMs, which are quite expensive and nowadays are hard to find. And its memory usage isn't quite up to speed with all the new ideas. So I started to play around with flash memory. I've made a video about this simple programmer I came up with. These flash ICs offer 16 times more memory at 1/3 of the cost of an EEPROM, and they are available as surface mount devices too. I have designed them into my CPU so that its lower 32 kilobytes are flash memory and the upper 32K are RAM, saving another 3 ICs and shrinking the layout considerably. Integrating everything was a bit tricky, but in the end it worked great. Here is an overview of the new design with its 16 main control signals shown in red and the derived control signals in magenta. Feel free to pause the video to take a closer look. If you are interested in the details, I suggest you dive into the schematics. The link is in the description. But now the fun starts, since the system is officially capable of writing data into its own permanent brain. Yes, we are getting a solid-state drive for free here. Let's see how that goes. The flash datasheet says that for writing a byte, we need to write some fantasy data to some fantasy addresses to put the IC in write mode. Then we simply set our target address and write our data. That's to prevent accidental overwriting of existing data. A similar command erases a block of memory to hex FF. That's necessary prior to writing. Now, as you can see here, that translates directly to simple instructions that can be carried out by our CPU. Okay, let's see that in action and power up the new system. Anything below 8000 is flash ROM. The OS resides in the first protected 4 kilobytes, and anything above serves as a solid-state drive. Let's type M for menu. As you can see, I have implemented a little file system, so we have load and save commands. We can display the directory, delete files, and format the entire SSD. Let's take a look at the directory first by typing D00 run. We get a list of all the files on there with their start addresses and byte sizes. Alright then, we all know Tetris, so let's load it and hit R for run. That is so convenient. Keep in mind that all this runs on a handful of TTL logic. Let's load some more test programs. Okay, now let's try out the write and erase commands too. With these flash ICs, we are guaranteed a minimum of 10,000 write cycles, so don't worry about overwriting your data a couple of times. Yeah, that all works as it should. So, what are the next steps? Well, with a tiny text editor, it would be possible to write and store human-readable assembler programs as text files on this system. A native assembler program could take these as an input and output machine code, which could be run or saved for later use. Maybe someone has to go and write a tiny C compiler or BASIC for the CPU in the future. It'll also be nice to write a TCP/IP stack and serve web pages over UART. In case you're interested in this CPU design, I have again put together all the information you need to build it yourself. You'll find a link to my GitHub repository in the description of this video. As always, I'd love to hear about your builds, ideas and suggestions in the comments. And if you like what I'm doing here, please tell others about it. The feedback and friendly comments I have received from you over the last year was a huge inspiration for me and is greatly appreciated. So thank you. Take care. Bye.